Most of us spend our entire lives chasing success without ever stopping to ask a simple question: whose definition of success are we chasing? From childhood, we are told what we should do, what we should become, and what achievements will make us worthy. We run faster, work harder, compare more, and yet many still feel something is missing. Inside there's a quiet voice that asks, is this all there is? If you have ever felt that despite winning the race, life still feels empty, then this message is for you. Today we will explore a truth rarely spoken, the truth that everything we learn about success may actually be wrong. And once you understand this, your life, your work, and your sense of purpose will never be the same again. Stay with this journey till the end, because a single insight today could change the way you see your entire life. Let's begin. Success has been taught to us as something outside ourselves, something that exists in the future, in goals, trophies, achievements, and social recognition. From childhood, we are conditioned to believe that success is a destination we must reach, and until we reach it, we are incomplete. We are told that our value depends on results, and so life becomes a race against others and against time. But this understanding is fundamentally flawed because it places success somewhere outside the present moment, outside our own being. The truth is that success is not something to be acquired, it is something to be realized. It is not a possession but a state of inner quality. When a person is centered, calm, aware, and living authentically, they are already successful, regardless of whether the world sees it or not. Every external form of success, money, reputation, popularity, comes and goes. It can be taken away in an instant. If your sense of fulfillment depends on external things, you will always remain insecure, because anything the world gives, the world can also remove. Real success begins the moment a person discovers that peace, clarity, contentment, and inner strength do not come from outside conditions. They arise from a deeper connection with oneself. When a person is rooted in this understanding, outer achievements become expressions of inner fullness rather than attempts to fill a void. Society teaches people to chase goals, but rarely teaches them to understand themselves. People climb mountains without knowing why they are climbing, and when they reach the top, they often find nothing there. This realization is painful but necessary, because it reveals that the real journey is inward. Once inner alignment is found, actions become effortless, decisions become clear, and work becomes a natural expression of who you are, not a desperate attempt to prove yourself. This shift marks the true beginning of authentic success. From childhood, we are trained to compare ourselves with others. In school, success is measured by grades ranked against classmates. In society, it is defined by who earns more, owns more, or is praised more. This mindset turns life into a competition where value is gained only by being ahead of someone else. Comparison plants a constant fear of falling behind and creates a false belief that happiness depends on winning against others. Instead of discovering our own unique strengths, people waste their energy trying to match or outdo someone else. In this state, life loses its natural rhythm, and a person becomes disconnected from their own individuality. No two people are born with the same path, potential, or purpose. Therefore, comparing one life to another is meaningless. A rose does not compete with a lotus, yet both blossom in their own beauty. But human beings rarely allow themselves this freedom, because society rewards competition rather than self-understanding. When comparison becomes the foundation of ambition, people may achieve great success in the eyes of the world but feel empty inside. The joy of learning, growing, and creating disappears because the focus is no longer on personal evolution, on defeating someone else. This leads to anxiety, jealousy, fear, and an endless sense of insufficiency. Even if a person wins today, someone stronger, smarter, or faster may appear tomorrow, and the insecurity begins again. True growth happens only when the energy wasted on comparison is redirected inward. When a person starts asking, "Am I better than I was yesterday?" a new dimension opens. Instead of measuring against others, they begin to understand their own journey, their own potential, and their own pace. In this space, success becomes natural, effortless, and peaceful because it is rooted in authenticity rather than competition. People are conditioned to believe that success is a final state, a point in the future where everything will be perfect, settled, and complete. This belief creates a constant chase, a restlessness that keeps individuals running toward the next achievement, the next milestone, the next reward. But life is never a fixed destination. It is a continuous flow, always changing, always unfolding. The moment one goal is achieved, the mind immediately searches for another. This is why many people never feel truly successful. Even after achieving what they once dreamed of, they remain tense, anxious, and unsatisfied because they measure success by endpoints rather than experiences. The misunderstanding lies in thinking that success is the result, when in truth, it is the quality of the journey. If the journey is filled with stress, pressure, self-neglect, and inner emptiness, reaching the goal cannot suddenly produce fulfillment. The seed of the result is contained in the process itself. When a person begins to see success as participation rather than conclusion, everything changes. Each step becomes meaningful, each challenge becomes a lesson, and each action becomes an expression of growth. Instead of racing toward the future, one starts living in the present. This shift frees the mind from pressure. The individual becomes more creative, more open, more available to learning because they are not blinded by the obsession to arrive somewhere. Life becomes richer when the focus moves from "What will I achieve?" to "How am I living right now?" The journey is where understanding deepens, skills develop, character forms, and consciousness expands. When a person brings awareness, presence, and joy into their actions, they are already successful in that moment. Outer success may come or not, but inner success is guaranteed. The paradox is that those who stop treating success as a destination often achieve more, because their actions come from clarity and not from desperation. People are often told that the key to success is simply to work harder, push more, sleep less, sacrifice everything, and keep grinding until the desired results appear. This belief has created generations of people who are exhausted but not fulfilled, busy but not progressing, active but not growing. Hard work in itself is not the problem is unconscious hard work. Effort done out of fear, pressure, comparison, or blind ambition. Mechanical effort may produce movement, but movement without awareness does not create meaningful direction. A person can run all day on a treadmill but still remain in the same place. True action is not determined by intensity alone, but by clarity, intelligence, and inner understanding. When effort comes from ego or insecurity, it becomes a burden. When effort comes from presence, it becomes powerful and creative. Many people work hard, but they do not know why they are working or where they are going. Their actions are reactions, not expressions of their inner calling. Without consciousness, work becomes a habit, a routine, a mechanical pattern that drains energy without giving fulfillment. Such work may produce temporary results, but it rarely brings lasting satisfaction. Real success begins when a person starts acting from awareness rather than compulsion. When the mind is clear, decisions are sharp, timing becomes accurate, and energy is used wisely instead of scattered. A single moment of conscious action can be more transformative than years of blind struggle. Hard work is valuable, but only when combined with inner alignment. When a person loves what they do, understands why they do it, and works with presence instead of pressure, effort becomes effortless. Instead of forcing life, they flow with it. In this state, work nourishes rather than exhausts, and success arises as a natural outcome rather than a forced achievement. Many people dedicate their entire lives to achieving what society defines as success, only to discover in the end that it does not give the fulfillment they expected. From the outside, they may appear prosperous, respected, and accomplished. Yet internally, they feel a sense of emptiness, restlessness, a strange lack of meaning. This happens because the world teaches people to chase symbols of success instead of understanding the true purpose behind their actions. Society encourages people to climb the highest possible mountain, but rarely asks whether the mountain is the right one. A person may spend decades working for money, status, approval, or recognition, but if the goal does not align with their inner calling, reaching it brings disappointment rather than joy. The ladder of success may be climbed with great effort, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. People often assume that achieving external milestones will automatically create inner peace. They believe that once they reach the top, the emptiness inside will disappear. But fulfillment cannot be purchased with awards, titles, or material achievements, because these things belong to the world, not to the soul. The deeper human need is not to accumulate more, but to become more aware, more alive, more connected to one's own truth. When success is pursued for the sake of appearances, the inner self is ignored, and that inner self eventually begins to call out. This is why so many successful individuals feel lost, directionless, or unhappy despite having everything the world admires. Real success is not about how much one has accomplished, but about how deeply one has understood themselves through the journey. When actions come from alignment rather than social pressure, success brings peace instead of pressure, fulfillment instead of fatigue, and meaning instead of emptiness. True success begins the moment a person becomes aligned with their inner voice, their authentic desires, and their natural rhythm. Most people live according to expectations created by family, society, or culture, and their actions become responses to those external pressures rather than expressions of their true self. When actions do not come from within, even achievements feel hollow. But when a person is connected to their own inner truth, work becomes joyful, decisions become clear, and effort becomes balanced. Inner alignment means that your thoughts, choices, and actions are flowing in the same direction without inner conflict. When there is harmony within, life on the outside starts reflecting that clarity. A person who acts from inner knowing does not need comparison, competition, or external validation, because their fulfillment comes from being authentic rather than being approved. In this state, success is not something to chase. It unfolds naturally, just as a tree grows without forcing itself. A person aligned with their essence grows without strain. They choose work that resonates with them, relationships that nourish them, and environments that support their growth. Awareness becomes a guiding intelligence. Instead of reacting to life, they respond with consciousness. This responsiveness creates precision in action. They do the right thing at the right time without wasting energy on unnecessary struggle. And because their actions are sincere, life supports them in unexpected ways. People, opportunities, and circumstances aligned with someone who is aligned with themselves. Inner alignment also brings peace. A person no longer lives in constant doubt or fear of missing out because they know their direction is true. Success, in this sense, is not measured by how much they have gained externally, but by how deeply they are rooted in themselves. When the inner and outer movements become one, success ceases to be a goal and becomes a natural state of being. In the end, what we commonly call success is often just a reflection of what society has taught us to chase. We run after results, compare ourselves with others, and work tirelessly without realizing that we may be moving further away from our true selves. Real success is not a trophy or a title. It is the ability to live consciously, to act with awareness, and to grow into the person we were meant to be. When our journey becomes more important than the destination, when actions arise from clarity instead of pressure, when we stop competing and start understanding, life begins to open in a new way. In that moment, success is no longer an achievement. It becomes a natural state of inner harmony. The world may applaud or remain silent, but the true reward is the joy, peace, and fulfillment that comes from being aligned with one's own truth. This is the kind of success that cannot be taken away because it is rooted within. Thank you for listening with an open heart. May your journey be guided not by pressure, comparison, or fear, but by awareness, authenticity, and inner strength. Wishing you the courage to follow your own path, the clarity to know what is true for you, and the wisdom to grow in your own unique way. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for being here